Rwanda is a small landlocked country with a population of about 13 million people, located a few degrees south of the Equator in East Central Africa. It is bordered by Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Its recent history is one that is nothing short of extraordinary. It's a story of conflict, extreme suffering, forgiveness, and prosperity, all within a short number of years. In this video, we'll be exploring the remarkable transformation of Rwanda from a country devastated by genocide to becoming Africa's fastest growing economy. Despite the horrors of the past, Rwanda has made incredible progress in the last 2 decades, and today, it is a success story that many countries around the world can learn from. Before we dive into how Rwanda managed to turn itself around, let us take a quick look at its history. Rwanda is a country that has seen its fair share of conflicts, violence, and instability. In 1994, Rwanda experienced a genocide that claimed the lives of over 800,000 people. At the time, the country had a population of about 7 million people, comprising 3 ethnic groups: the Hutu, who made up roughly 85% of the population, the Tutsi, 14%, and the Twa, 1%. There were several factors that contributed to the genocide, including historical ethnic tensions, political manipulation, and economic instability. One such form of political manipulation was that during the colonial period in the country, which began in the late 19th century, the German and later Belgian colonial authorities implemented a system of ethnic identity cards that categorized people as Hutu, Tutsi, or Twa based on their physical characteristics and social status. Although the Tutsis were the minority ethnic group out of the 2 larger groups, they were held to a higher social class and were favored by the colonial powers that ruled Rwanda. This created resentment among the majority Hutu population, which boiled over into violence in the 1950s and 1960s. In 1990, a group of Tutsi exiles invaded Rwanda from neighboring Uganda, sparking a civil war that lasted for several years. During this time, the Hutu government used propaganda to fuel ethnic tensions, portraying the Tutsis as a threat to the Hutu way of life. The government also armed and trained militias, known as the Interahamwe, who carried out attacks against Tutsis and other Hutu people, known as moderate Hutus, who refused to participate in the killings of Tutsis. In April 1994, Rwandan President Juvenal Habyarimana, a Hutu, was assassinated when his plane was shot down. This event served as a trigger for the genocide, with Hutu extremists using it as an excuse to launch an organized campaign of violence against Tutsis and moderate Hutus. The genocide lasted for around 100 days, during which time hundreds of thousands of people were killed in a campaign of brutal violence. The international community was criticized for not doing enough to prevent the genocide, with some arguing that the UN could have done more to intervene and protect civilians. During the genocide, Paul Kagame, the current president of Rwanda, was the leader of the Rwandan Patriotic Front, RPF, a rebel group that was fighting against the government of President Juvenal Habyarimana. The RPF was made up primarily of ethnic Tutsis, who had been marginalized and oppressed under the Habyarimana regime. When the genocide began, the RPF launched a major offensive against the government forces. The RPF quickly gained ground and eventually captured Kigali, the capital of Rwanda, in July 1994, effectively ending the genocide. Paul Kagame played a crucial role in the RPF's military campaign, serving as the overall commander of its forces. He was widely respected for his military prowess and strategic vision, and was instrumental in the RPF's success in defeating the governmental forces. After the genocide, Kagame became the de facto leader of Rwanda and was later elected as the country's president in 2000. He has since been credited with leading Rwanda's transformation from a devastated post-genocide state to one of the fastest developing countries in Africa. Since taking office, Kagame has implemented policies that have helped to reshape the country. The government has set out a long-term vision for the country's economic development called Vision 2050, which aims to transform Rwanda into a middle-income country by 2035 and a high-income country by 2050. To achieve this, the government has focused on rebuilding the country's infrastructure, investing in education and healthcare, and creating a favorable environment for foreign investment. Rwanda has invested heavily in its infrastructure in recent years. The government has focused on improving the country's roadwork, building new airports, and expanding its power supply. This investment has helped to attract foreign investors, increase trade, and stimulate economic growth. The country has also made significant investments in education and healthcare. The government has introduced several initiatives, including free primary education and the construction of new schools. In addition, it has invested in healthcare with the aim of improving access to healthcare for all citizens. Rwanda has also established a conducive environment for foreign investment. The government has launched several initiatives to attract foreign investors, including tax incentives, streamlined bureaucracy, and a one-stop shop for investors. As a result, the country has become one of the most attractive destinations for foreign investment in Africa. Rwanda has also promoted entrepreneurship and innovation to drive economic growth. The government has launched several initiatives to support small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, and encourage innovation. One of the most successful initiatives is the Rwanda Development Board, which provides support and resources to entrepreneurs and startups. According to World Bank data, the country's GDP growth rate has averaged around 7.2% per year between 2000 and 2022, making it one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Rwanda is sometimes referred to as the Singapore of Africa due to its impressive economic and social transformation in recent years. Both countries are small in size with limited natural resources, but have managed to achieve exceptional economic growth and development by implementing innovative policies and prioritizing good governance. Rwanda has also made impressive strides in other areas of global importance. Some of these include promoting gender equality, particularly in the political sphere. The country has implemented a range of policies and initiatives aimed at increasing women's participation in politics and decision-making. This has resulted in Rwanda having one of the highest percentages of women in parliaments in the world, with women's representation standing at over 60%. Rwanda has also been a global leader in making significant progress in promoting sustainable development, with a strong focus on environmental protection and conservation. An example of this is their plastic bag ban. In 2008, Rwanda became one of the first countries in the world to ban plastic bags. It prohibits the manufacture, use, importation, and sale of the bags. The ban has been successful in reducing plastic pollution and promoting sustainable practices. Rwanda is also the only country in the world where the people along with the president participate in what is known as Umuganda every Saturday of the month between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Umuganda translates to coming together in common purpose to achieve an outcome. This is a nationwide practice where everyone participates in community work, cleaning up and maintaining their neighborhood. Consequently, the country has been at the top of the list as the cleanest country in Africa for several years now. Despite all these incredible achievements, public opinion about Paul Kagame and his government is complex and varies widely among different segments of the population. While some Rwandans are strong supporters of Kagame and credit him with bringing stability and development to the country, others have criticized his government for its authoritarian tendencies and restrictions on political opposition. Kagame and his party, the Rwandan Patriotic Fronts, RPF, have been in power for over 20 years and have won several elections with large majorities. However, some opposition parties and civil society groups have raised concerns about the fairness and transparency of these elections. And there have been reports of harassment and intimidation of opposition candidates and supporters. For the most part, while there are certainly criticisms of Kagame and his government in Rwanda, there are also many Rwandans who support him and believe that he has been an effective leader. The question of how widely his support is spread across the population remains a matter of debate. In conclusion, Rwanda's journey from a country almost destroyed by genocide to Africa's fastest growing economy is a fascinating success story. Rwanda has in many ways become a model for development and progress on the continent, and the leadership of President Paul Kagame has been instrumental in this accomplishment. Rwanda's story is one of hope and a testament to what can be achieved when a country is committed to positively changing the lives of its people. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more informative videos.